All right, CC, what's the most impressive about the Saints' dominance this season? Because not a lot of people are talking about it, but they are quietly turning into one of the best teams in the league.
Well, if you look at the Saints team over the last 10 years, the teams that have been the best mirrored this team. Now, this team might not throw the ball as well as some of those other teams, but when the Saints have been good, they've been able to run the ball more effectively than people think. People just think, oh, it's just Drew Brees' arm. But not when the Saints are good. Like Sean Payton, and that's what he did in trying to go out and sign Adrian Peterson. He wanted to add a physical running attack. He realized after a couple weeks, which a lot of coaches won't do, he realized, man, I made a mistake. Let me get him out of here. And they have gotten so much better since removing Adrian, because Mark Ingram is a top flight running back, but also a top flight person. And he's the type of person that can groom and mentor Kamar. I know this because he lives in South Florida. He works out with me all the time. He works a lot with my son. He's a great guy. So for Sean Payton to make these adjustments in the season, because I'm not going to wait till the offseason. I made a mistake. And to see Kamar's development, Sean Payton and what he did as a head coach, it's not in the numbers, but it's playing out in the film.
Don't look right now. The Saints might be the best team in the NFL. You can make a strong case that over the last 7 weeks, they are obviously the best team in the NFL. And over the totality of the season, they are on the very short list along with the Eagles, the Pats, the Steelers, who maybe have the shakiest case, and the Rams. So the Saints start their year with 2 losses, Minnesota and New England. Those aren't bad losses because those are 2 very good teams.
Yeah, they have the best record in the NFL.
Right. Since then, CC, their defense, 2nd in the league in points per game, 1st in the league in yards per game, 1st in the league in passing yards given up. All right, how's their rushing attack since those first 2 weeks? They are 2nd in the league in yards per game, 1st in the league in touchdowns. So all of a sudden, if you're telling me there's a team with a top 5 defense and a top 5 rushing attack, and oh yeah, their quarterback is Drew bleeping Brees, that's a team that can absolutely win a Super Bowl. And what you're seeing from Brees this year, one of the reasons the rushing attack is so effective and the offense so effective is a guy who's always been one of the all-time best as far as completion percentage. He's completing 72% of his passes. It's a career high even for Drew Brees. So they can hand the ball off and guarantee 5 yards or close to 5 yards. But when they're throwing the ball 3 out of 4 times, you know it's being caught. Like, you can just perpetually keep the offense moving forward.
How old is Drew Brees?
Brees,
I want
36.
Oh, okay, because I want to know how far before the age thing starts.
There was a 40-year-old line of demarcation. And by the way, you guys kill me on being wrong about the Giants this year, which I know we're going to get to. Man, I thought the Saints were going to be one of the worst teams in the league. Like, I thought this was going to be another year, same old Saints, where they have no defense, running game struggles, they put up a bunch of passing yards, and they're not any good. The Saints are outstanding.
First of all,
Drew Brees.
What about Drew Brees?
It's 38.
38.
And he's going to be 39 in like 2
Well, that's
months.
usually how it works when you're 38. You're
After that, he's going to be 40.
Yeah.
So that's
Good to
just
know.
in, yeah, he'll be 40
Sorry,
after
Jenna,
that. And then
as
he'll
you
be
were.
41. No, what I was going to say is, unlike Tom Brady, you can actually give Drew Brees a little bit of rest over the course of the next not even rest, not sitting out rest, but you don't have to tax his arm. That whole offense doesn't rely on Brees and doesn't go through his arm. You've got 2 running backs, both had over 100 yards yesterday in a game. How rare is that to have where you're not completely reliant on Drew Brees heading into January?
What it relies is a lot of times New Orleans, what their biggest problem was, they couldn't get home field advantage, all right, which that they are different on that turf. They've been an undersized, fast football team, so they play better inside. So then they end up going outside late in the season, and they don't have an all-weather football team. So when you don't have an all-weather football team, you're susceptible to going certain places. So right now, yeah, during the game, they can rest him, but it's important home field advantage. They'd much rather be playing Minnesota inside than have to go to a place like Philadelphia. So
no doubt.
They are better equipped to be able to handle it, and when they've been successful, they've been built just like this
And not
team.
even rest him. The whole offense doesn't have to go through his arm. He doesn't have to throw 300 yards.
Right, you're talking about doing what they did yesterday.
What Tom Brady, exactly.
What they did yesterday. They ran the ball 48 times for 298 yards. At one point in the game yesterday, CC, and shout out to our guys in our production meeting who gave this analogy, they looked like Alabama against a mid-major. They ran the ball 24 straight times.
My guy Brum. by the way.
Brumley, shout out to Brumley. I couldn't remember who said it. Like, they just kept handing the ball off. You run the ball 48 times and average 6 yards per carry.
You forgot the one shout out. Shout out to the weatherman.
Oh, yeah.
There was a weatherman came on the show last week and told you
So
it was going to be unseasonably warm
It looked like it.
Sunday in Buffalo,
Yeah.
and New Orleans would blast Buffalo.
I called Jim Cantori personally. He gave me the wrong weather report. I brought it on the show. You then pulled up your app. You're like, nope, gonna be warm. Bad job by me.
Could we also just mention real quick, Sean Payton was on the hot seat last year. That guy's job was all but like gone. What's going to happen? And after 2 games this year, we completely wrote the Saints off. How is he resurrected?
We
what
thought
he's
that
doing
this
there?
was the last year of Brees and Payton in New Orleans.
Yeah, that was on the board.
That was absolutely on the board. And after 2 games, like you said, it was almost a foregone conclusion. All they've done since then is rip off 7 straight wins, and since those first 2 games, arguably been the best team in the NFL.
Sean Payton's one of the best coaches in the NFL, but they couldn't get that defense right. Now they got it.
Well, and one last point, and this is, we're seeing a lot of teams spend high draft picks on players, and they can't get them on the field. There were three receivers taken in the top 10 picks.
Yeah.
Those guys, I think, have combined for like 15 catches. The Saints are showing you, if you do hit on your draft picks, how much rookies can help you instantly. Alvin Kamara, a rookie. Marshawn Lattimore, a rookie. They might have the offensive and defensive rookies of the year on the same team, and those guys are helping them right now.
Sean Payton lost 2 games. They thought he was gone. Ben McAdoo, you can lose as many as you want.
no.
Just chill out, Ben. You're
What
going to
time
be
is it?
fine forever.
7:15 Eastern?
When's he gone?
Maybe by 9:15.
What's the over-under, 9:15?
I set the over-under the end of this show.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.